Hey folks, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about how to build a technical resume. So a technical resume consists of mainly 5 sections. It starts off with education, experience, personal projects, hackathons, which can also be a part of the personal projects, and your skills. And each section has to have its own requirements, and we'll be walking over all of that. So before we jump into each of these individual sections, let's look at a template. So this is what a technical resume would look like. You always start off with your first name and your last name and your heading, and it's highlighted and it's bold. And right below that, you would have your email address, your phone number, and your personal website. If you don't really have a personal website, you could possibly add your link to your GitHub or your LinkedIn. Basically, any way to showcase your work. Right after that, the very first section that you need to have is education. So the education part will focus on your university or your college experience, the degree that you took, or the diploma that you took with the specialization. And if not, like for example, if you're based in a different field altogether and you're switching and you have a boot camp that you took that will help you transition to a technical career, you would also add your boot camp in your educational section. This will help recruiters know that you do have some sort of a training in coding. So that is an important piece where you add your specialization, your degree, your GPA, if that is relevant, and when did you start your course and when did you end your course. So that is the educational section, and it comes right after the heading. After your educational section, you will have your work experience. So work experience is for those who have either had internships or who have been in the industry for a couple of years. And it usually goes with your company name, the role that you had in the department that you're working in, with um, work that you have done. And the two things that you need to keep in mind for your experience is that whenever you talk about your experience, there are two things that you need to focus on. The first thing is to make sure that you quantify your results. So, an example for this would be let's say you worked on a bug, and because of which um, your customers are no longer complaining about that one issue. So, that would be translated into X number of tickets reduction to customer service, right? Or for example, you were able to increase the performance of a particular tool within your application that helped other developers compile their code sooner. You would tell, okay, I increased the speed of this particular application by X%. That helped developers deploy faster. That would be a very good example. And you also need to show the impact that your work created. So this would be, for example, if you created a new feature that helped your customers get to the goal faster or sooner, or work on a feature that really augments their current solutions. So that would be the impact that you created. So make sure you highlight the impact that you had. Everybody knows that you worked at the company, but you always need to focus on the work, the impact that your work had. What is the positive outcome of all of the work that you created? Awesome. So the next section right after would be personal projects. So personal projects would be especially important for those who have never had any experience in the technical field. So there are 3 main reasons why you would want to have personal projects. The first one is to show that you're passionate about coding outside of your work. So this says that you are in fact very passionate about work that you do, and that you take time outside of your professional career to actually work on projects that you care about. And this is really important for those who don't have any experience at all prior to getting into the industry. The second one is it shows experience in technologies the company requires. So, for example, let's say you're applying to a startup and they require you to work in Python. So if you've had a couple of projects that you've done in Python and you showcase that, that tells the recruiters that you do have experience in Python, and the probability of you getting an interview or a call with them would be higher, right? And the third thing is that you can use these personal projects on your personal website. So for example, you can display them, and you can link it back to the GitHub code that you wrote to actually make that happen. And you can make that interactive as well. So anybody who's visiting your website would be really intrigued and impressed by the work that you've put out. So that's how you can add that personal projects to your resume, like right here, right after the work experience. And the other thing that I do want to highlight that not everybody knows is about hackathons. So what are hackathons? Hackathons are these coding competitions that are held even for a day or over the course of a month. These are organized by organizations or schools or even companies sometimes, and they give you a particular problem that you work on, or sometimes it's even open ended. And people come together in groups of four. Usually it's four, it can be less as well, to work on a project. And at the end of the hackathon, you need to be able to showcase what you worked on. And there are prizes that are given for specific categories that you can win. So this is a very good way of meeting new people in your industry. It can be a very good way of learning from other people or even to network. Usually at these hackathons, there are a lot of companies that sponsor these hackathons. They are also actively recruiting for other people. So hackathons is also a very good way to attend um, at these like these company sponsors, and you can talk to them and make connections and possibly get a job out of it. Awesome. So there are two main sources that you can look at to attend different hackathons. The first one is MLH, which is Major League Hacking. So Major League Hacking is originally, I think it's mostly focused on students. So if you go to mlh.io and you select attend a hackathon, you will see all the hackathons that are happening around you, and you can apply to these hackathons. You do need to show that you're enthusiastic about going to these hackathons. That's when you get accepted. And once you get accepted, you don't really have to apply with a team. You can go by yourself and meet other people who also want to form a team and work on a project with them. Going to hackathons can be a little intimidating. Before I applied to my first hackathon, I was also very intimidated because there were so many people who knew more than I did. But honestly, they're all people from different experience backgrounds. So as soon as you get there, it's a really good way to learn something new and meet new people. So I highly recommend like applying to a hackathon and just checking out what it looks like. And the other really good resource is DevPost as well. So hackathons, if you go to that particular section on DevPost, you will see the hackathons that are happening right now are the ones that you can apply to. And if you look at the prizes, they're really huge. So some people really do well on these hackathons and good good prizes as well. So I would highly recommend doing that. And those projects that come out of those hackathons, you can highlight them in your personal project section, and you can also say, hey, like I was able to be like our project was the top 10 projects out of 300 at this hackathon. That would really impress the recruiters. Awesome. So that is a bit about hackathons. The last section that you would want to focus on is the skills section. So the skill section is where you would add all of the languages that you know or the technologies that you know. So for example, like Python, Java, or any event streaming services that you might have played around with, like RabbitMQ or Kafka, or any of the cloud based solutions that you work with, for example, like AWS or Azure or Google Cloud, any of those things that you can add them to your skill section. And sometimes, unfortunately, with companies, they do have a filter, which is more of an automated filter that look for certain keywords before recruiters actually see your resume. So being able to highlight your skills and work, like adding the skills that you actually know that the company requires, do increase your chances of getting an interview with the company. Awesome. So that's it for a technical resume. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video. I would really appreciate that. It definitely keeps me motivated to make more videos.